Hello, my name is Brian. Today we are here to talk about my feelings.
Transition. I had a friend post something on social media a little while back talking about it was World Suicide Prevention Day, and they were talking about their story with what they dealt with emotionally and mentally, and it got me thinking, and I wanted to, I guess I had some stuff to say too, and I thought about it. It just seemed too real and too raw and too emotional, and it seems like a weird thing to talk about on like social media or anywhere really. Maybe that's part of the problem. But I got to thinking, and I wrote down a list of what I wish my younger self knew, about depression and anxiety. And then I was thinking about it. This isn't stuff I wish my younger self knew. This is stuff I wish that myself knew. These are things that I have to remind myself of all the time. So here's a here's a list of stuff I made. I'm going to talk about feelings a little bit today. So if that bothers you, you're probably healthy. I don't know. Number one, talk to someone. You are not alone. I went for a long time without talking to anybody because it felt uncomfortable and I didn't want to bring anybody down. But if you don't talk to anybody, nobody's going to know that you're not doing well, and no one's going to know to help you. The people that love you probably want to help you. So talk to them. There's this quote I really like. This is James Baldwin. You think your pain and your heartache are unprecedented in the world, but then you read, it was books that taught me that the things that tormented me most were the things that connected me to all the people who were alive, who had ever been alive. Number two, be careful how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself. It's weird to think about, but your internal voice is the one you will hear most in your life. Would you ever criticize a friend the way you do yourself? Forgive yourself. Another quote that I really like, this is Hannah Arendt on forgiveness. The biggest problem for human beings has always been the conundrum of action in the world. We've never been able to know how to work out the consequences of any of our actions in the world. This has always been so. The only mechanism we've come up with as a species to cope with the unbelievable, otherwise catastrophe of action is forgiveness. I think that's probably speaking about other people's actions, but forgive yourself too. Like, as much as you wish things would always work out perfectly, they're not going to. Sometimes you just gotta give yourself some leeway and let yourself live. Take care of yourself first. If you're having too much, or if you're giving too much of yourself, don't be hesitant to pull back. I don't mean to be like a dick and cancel on people willy-nilly, but it's difficult to be in a healthy relationship with others if you're not in a healthy relationship with yourself, or if you're not healthy. 3, persist. Never give up. Things will get better if you try and try and try. Things are unlikely to get better on their own, at least in any long-term significant way. Setbacks are inevitable. Failure is inevitable. Get back up. The only true failure is not trying. Exercise. I can't even begin to describe how important exercise is for me as far as feeling good. Regular exercise will keep you from tough times and save you when they happen. You might not want to do it, but you will feel so much better if you do. If you don't have a sport you like, there's so many different ways to get exercise. And even if it's I think intense exercise is best, but even if it's just going out and getting a walk, a jog, anything, I think it's so easy to become sedentary and kind of stuck in a bubble. And exercising has always helped me. Therapy. Try a therapist. If one therapist doesn't work, try another. I've been to a few. Some of them suck. I mean, it's like anything, a mechanic, whatever. Some people you jive with, some people you don't. Read self-help books. Everyone makes fun of self-help books, but they're really helpful. I don't know, I read them all the time. Write your feelings down. Journaling has been one of the best ways for me to figure out how to process sad or anxious thoughts. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm actually thinking until I write it down. Just getting the thoughts out of my head and onto paper are often there's usually more that's required, but I usually feel so much better even just writing it down. Goals. I was feeling really shitty once, and my friend asked if I had any goals, and it kind of struck me because at the time I didn't. And it's if you don't have something to look forward to, what are you doing? And I've heard actually have goals and anti-goals, things that you want to get and things that you definitely want to avoid. So you have something to run towards and something to run away from. Work. If you're feeling shitty, it can be really tempting to take work off and kind of loaf around all day to relax or whatever. I found that very rarely does that actually help, especially if you're feeling anxious or depressed. Having an extra 8 hours to sit around in your head isn't always helpful. Anyways, I almost always feel better even if I don't want to, just go in. Input. Be careful what you put into your head. This includes TV, podcasts, books, social media, especially social media. If you're not feeling good, just get rid of it. It sounds like super scary if you're on Facebook or Instagram and you want everyone to know what you're doing and you want to know what's up with everyone, but it's so overwhelming. I got off Facebook and Instagram like a month ago, and I feel amazing. I have so much more free time, and I don't think about that all the time. It's awesome. If you're worried about the social connections you're going to miss if you get off, there's a little bit of that. You might miss out on some events, but if someone's really your friend, just call them, text them. You don't need to passively receive everyone's life in your head. I don't think that's great for people. If your phone has something that allows you to track how much time you use, that could be useful. I discovered I was using my phone a disgusting amount of time. Actually, this might be embarrassing. I've been better lately, but 4 hours and 21 minutes a day. Yikes. Still pretty bad, but it used to be way worse. Food. Watch what you eat. Avoid processed foods and especially sugar. Be careful with alcohol. Both can be great in the short term, but also can lead to an unhealthy spiral. There's all kinds of drugs you can do. Drugs, vitamins, nootropics, whatever. Be careful what you put into your body. Keep track of it. If you're doing so much that you don't know what you're doing, that whether it's weed, alcohol, candy, probably not a great thing. Meditate. There's a lot of people get turned off when they hear meditation. It means a lot of things. I will honestly just set a timer for a few minutes and try and think positive thoughts for a few minutes. And it's pretty helpful. There's also, you can just set a timer and do breathing exercises. If you don't know how to meditate, you can try a meditation app, or if you Google Sam Harris on meditation, he's a G. Practicing on being mindful of your thoughts, because your thoughts aren't always good. They can be self-destructive, they can be annoying, they can be distracting. On communication, people can't read minds. That means you too. If you need someone to know something, talk to them. Easier said than done, but it's so easy to assume that the people closest to us will just be able to read our thoughts. That is not effective or fair to either of you. I can't even imagine how much time I've wasted and relationships that could have been way better if I just stopped assuming that people knew what I thought. It's just a really unhealthy habit to have where you assume that someone knows either that you're mad at them or that you owe them something or whatever it is. I don't know. Gratitude. Be thankful. Count your blessings. You might have more to be thankful for than you think. The world is full of tragedy and beauty. You tend to see what you look for. This is not an admonition for rose-colored glasses, just an encouragement to look at both. I don't know. Negativity just shoves itself in your face. It just comes out of nowhere. Sometimes you have to cultivate positivity. And essentials. Think about what your essentials are. Anxiety and depression are often exacerbated by forgetting some of the basics. In this crazy, fast-paced world, it is all too easy to get into a rut and forget how to keep your body healthy. I have a short list of things that I often forget when I'm anxious or depressed. This may sound so basic, but if you've ever been on an anxiety or depression bender, you can really get completely outside of your head and forget to do basic body maintenance. And often, anxiety and depression are affected by things going on in the world. So much of it can be made worse if you're not taking care of your body. So water, food, sleep, movement, sunlight, goals, and connection. Water, if you're dehydrated, your brain's not working right. Food, good food, healthy food, not garbage. Sleep is probably the number one thing. If I don't get enough sleep, I am completely emotionally retarded. So I don't know. That's That's all I can think of right now. There's a million more things that I would want to say, but if I keep thinking about it, I'll never get this done. And I don't know. I hope everyone's doing all right. And take care of yourself. Bye. Rock, paper, scissors.